The world is changing, and so are today's power engineers and their professional society. Our legacy began with the dreamers and the pioneers, the creative thinkers who understood the science of their day and had a vision of how it could benefit mankind. It took ingenuity and hard work. More than a century ago, the power and energy industry emerged to transform the world. Pioneers brought electricity to millions. Early experiments gave way to the dramatic growth of the power and energy industry and gave birth to a huge and complex man-made technological infrastructure. There is little doubt that today's world is beyond the wildest dreams of our ancestors, and meeting the challenges of the future will continue to demand innovation. In India, the strategy to meet these challenges is to increase power generation capability, strengthen the interconnection of the grids, and aggressively develop alternative power sources and local energy cooperatives, especially for the rural areas.
Okay, so the biggest challenge facing India today is basically providing access to energy.
The vast number of Indians today are not even connected to the electricity grid. Something like 40% of Indian homes are not connected to electricity. However, we understand that it is important to make sure that they have access to clean and convenient forms of energy. For sheer quality of life reasons, the amount of energy that the country needs is going to increase substantially.
There are many global challenges, yet the demand for energy continues to grow. Many companies realize that they must adapt to the changing times. For some, the answer lies in alternative forms of energy, such as wind power and solar installations in areas off the grid.
Solar is our most abundant resource. If we have, say, 10 million hectares worth of land covered with solar photovoltaic cell with a 15% efficiency, it can generate all the energy that we project we will need 25 years down the line.
Just to give you a sense of the amount of renewable energy that we have in this country today, it's more than 10,500 megawatts. Out of the 10,500, close to 7,500 is wind. Now that is about 8% of our total installed capacity. And to give you a comparison, we have nuclear, which is about 3% of the total capacity. So we are already almost 3 times that of nuclear, and we are growing at a much faster rate than nuclear. In the last 5-year plan, which ended in 2007, whatever was the total capacity added in this country for generation of power, almost 25% came from renewables. So it is not something that is, that can be wished away or that can be ignored. It is something very substantial. It is something very massive, and it is here to stay, and it makes sense.
In the years ahead, India's power and energy professionals will develop an infrastructure that will bring electricity to all of its people. These professionals will also continue to make significant contributions to the development of sustainable solutions for the rest of the planet.
So in our labs, we've been getting from biomass, getting producer gas, and we've used almost every conceivable type of biomass, whether it is fuel wood, agricultural residues, cashew shells, anything. You take out a crop, you have all kinds of, you have the stalk, you have the residues. Each of these you can actually use to generate producer gas. Take that producer gas, run an engine.
At the same time, groundbreaking power and energy research is underway at India's technical institutes and universities. The country is engaged in an active campaign to conserve energy and use it efficiently.
Apart from energy supply, the efficient use of energy is also a key component of our energy strategy. Energy efficiency makes sense to the user because by adopting energy efficient devices or practices, they save on their energy bills. If that is the case, it should happen anyway. And in many cases, particularly in industry, it is happening anyway.
Thanks to India's many fine universities, there has been a steady supply of capable graduates who have contributed to the development of the world's power and energy industry. The IEEE Power and Energy Society has been at the forefront of student development in India.
I have two passions in life. One is linked with IEEE. First one is giving back to society, and the second one is giving back to students, and that's where IEEE helps me. That I go to various institutes, engineering and management institutes, and I share my experiences with students there.
As a member, I am there for 39 years. Right from my student days, in 1970 beginning, I became a member, first student member. In the same year, I became member also. Senior member in 1980. Then 1988, I was inducted into the executive committee of IEEE Delhi section.
Student branch, like my student branch, the main activity is technical talks they organize and industrial visits, which is very, very useful. We do at least 4 industrial visits in a year and technical talks by experts.
As India and the world enter the dawn of the second century of electric power, we are reinventing how we generate it, distribute it, utilize it, and conserve it. We face many challenges. 1.6 billion people worldwide are still without any electricity. Another 2 billion lack reliable electricity. Skyrocketing populations strain the system. Emissions from current generating technologies come with undesirable byproducts. Newer, cleaner technologies pose logistical, financial and technical hurdles. But today's power and energy professionals will rise to the challenge like their pioneering ancestors did. We will advance alternative forms of energy, wind, solar, biomass, geothermal and tidal and wave energy from the oceans. We will refine existing technologies like nuclear energy and strive for cleaner coal power through gasification and sequestration. We will find new ways to reduce energy consumption. We are on the forefront, pushing the envelope and spreading best practices. And supporting our work is PES, continuing to provide benefits to engineering professionals and their employers through conferences, publications, technical committees, networking opportunities, and standards development. PES, responding to the growing diversity of engineers and the emerging face of worldwide power and energy. PES, powering our future.